So what you're going to need is some powdered sugar, a knife, or one of these little roller cutters. We're going to need some pink frosting and some dark pink frosting, a spatula, also a brush with some water, and some of this little glitter sparkly dust. This is optional. If you don't have it, then that's fine. And you're also going to need a rolling pin and a tip and some white fondant, which I forgot to put here. First, you're going to start out by rolling your pink fondant. And then with your knife, or if you have one of these little roller cutters for fondant, they're basically like smaller pizza cutters. We're going to cut out a rectangle-ish shape, and then I'm going to sort of make it smaller on one end. This is going to be the top of the dress, so it's going to be smaller at the waist. And then taking my piping tip, I'm just going to cut out a small space at the top for the collar. So it's basically like half of the piping tip. So now, taking that extra piece from where we cut out the rectangle, we're just going to cut out a bigger rectangle, and this is going to be about twice the size of that original rectangle that we cut out. This is the size that I liked, and I thought it was the perfect size for the skirt or the bottom of the dress that we're going to make. So with your cutter, with the knife, just cut out everything, and then you want to make sure that all of the edges are nice and straight. And then on the bottom, we're going to sort of round it out. Now we're going to start gathering up the skirt, which for me was actually the hardest part because it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be. So I had to practice a lot, and the easiest way that I found to do this was just to pick it up and to just fold the top of the rectangle. And so the goal basically is to have all the folds going through the skirt, because if it's just, you know, gathered at the top and the bottom is kind of flat, it doesn't really look nice, or at least to me it didn't. So I just kind of fixed it. It might take a little while to fix, but you know, you guys just do what you have to do to get it to the way that you want it. When you have it the way that you want it, or the way that you think looks nice, you are going to get the end of your brush. To me, this was just easy. You can use anything to flatten it out. And you're just going to flatten it out. You want to measure it against your top because you want it to be the same size, because it's supposed to be a dress. So if the top is bigger than the dress, then it doesn't really look nice, and vice versa. So taking my spatula, I just put it under the skirt just to help it move, because you don't want your design to be stuck on your board and then it doesn't really, you know, when you try to pick it up, then it just gets ruined. So run your spatula under your design once in a while so that it doesn't stick. So right here you saw that I glued it on and then I took it off. I took it off because the top for me was a little bit too big. It kind of looked like it had a really big or very long torso. So just fix it. It's easier to fix right away than if you wait until it has set and then you try to pull it off, but it doesn't work. So if you need to fix something, fondant is usually very forgiving, so you just want to fix it right away. Now we are going to get to the belt part. As you see, when I move my piece, I'm just moving it from the waist because I just want everything to stay together. You want to roll out a very, you know, small thin strip and then put it in the middle so that you can't see the seam between the bottom and the top of the dress. And then with a knife, a sharp knife, you just want to take off the excess of the belt. Now we're going to add a little bow. You just need a tiny bit of that light colored pink fondant. I set a small piece aside and then I took the other part and then divided it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just rolling it into sort of a teardrop shape, and then I'm flattening it out with my fingers. And you're going to do that to both of the bigger circles. So with a brush, I'm going to add a little bit of water to the belt, and then I'm going to stick that piece on this side. And then taking your other ball, you're going to do the same thing. Now you want to add a little bit of water to the center, and then add a tiny little drop of pink fondant, not frosting, fondant. And that's your little bow. So you want to take your sharp knife and then add little creases in the middle so that it looks more like a bow. It's just a tiny little detail, but it makes the biggest difference. So now I'm taking my brush again with some water, and I'm brushing it alongside the collar. We're going to add a little pearl necklace. If you have small pearl nonpareils, you can definitely use those. I didn't have those, so I'm just taking white fondant and making tiny little balls and just sticking them on the collar. So yeah, if you don't have nonpareils, just use fondant. You gotta use what you have. And once you're done with that, I'm just brushing them over with some water again, and I'm going to add some of that little sparkle dust. Mine is called white sparkle dust. It's more of a shimmer, so it's very good for pearl essence things because it's more white. And so you want to brush that all over the small little pearl beads. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to wash the bottom of the dress with water, and as you can see, all that powdered sugar that was left onto the bottom of the dress is completely gone because of the water. It just dissolves, obviously. So you can leave it like this. It doesn't stay shiny, it goes a little bit matte, but at least all the powdered sugar is gone. And so you can leave it like that, but I decided to add a little bit of that pearl dust on it because I think it's just more girly and it looks kind of, I don't know, more fancy, I guess, to me. So yeah. So because I put water on the bottom half of the dress, and also because my fondant was a little bit sticky to begin with, the folds in the dress started to go down. So what I did was I just used my paint brushes and I put them under the dress until the dress dried, and it just worked. It was completely fine and the folds stayed. Now this is an option, but if you do want to make shoes to go along with your dress, all you have to do is take some black fondant and flatten it out. Then you want to fold it into sort of like an S shape and put it under something that will help it hold its shape. So just like a high heel shoe. Then you want to take a little bit of more black fondant and sort of make it into a teardrop shape, and then glue it to the upper part of the S. So I don't know how to explain this, but I hope that you guys can see sort of what it looks like. It's basically just like a high-heeled shoe. So flat S shape and then a little teardrop shape at the bottom. So just like this. And then I'm going to take some water and add it to the bottom of the heel. And then I'm going to take some flat black fondant and roll it sort of into a circle and attach it to the bottom. So it should look sort of like that. Sometimes it's easier for me to show you guys than for me to explain it. Yeah, so now I'm going to add a little bit more of a decoration. I rolled out a little small fondant rose. The way that you do this is just rolling out a flat strip and then rolling it into, like if you're rolling it into itself, and that just makes a small little rose, or it looks like a small little rose. It's cute. Now to do it, or to top it all off, we are just going to frost a cupcake. I decided to add a little bit of a pink tint to my frosting just to give it, I don't know, for it to be cuter, I guess. And then I added my little dress once it was all dried, and then I put my little heels. So this dress is a little bit different because it has a black rose instead of the bow. So it's just a way for you guys to just mix it up, I guess. So yeah. I also did a leopard print dress, which is basically the same thing, but you know, just a little bit different because we painted on the leopard print. This video is way too long, so that's why I didn't put it in, but if you do want to see it, thumbs up this video and comment down below. I hope you guys like this tutorial. Remember to like and to subscribe and to comment. It really makes my day when you guys comment. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and Instagram for more updates or just to see what I'm doing. But anyways, have a good day. Have a good start of the week. And I will see you guys in the next video.